Back again with KT Movie Recap, we're going to talk about Chinese movie called Fist of Legends by Jet Li. In 1914 Shen Jin, a Chinese martial artist studying at Kyoto University, is confronted in class by thugs from the ultra-nationalist Black Dragon clan, who demand he leave because he is Chinese. His professor, classmates and his girlfriend, Matsuko, defend him, but the thugs turn violent. Chen quickly defeats them using Chin Na techniques. Their teacher, Funakoshi, and also Matsuko uncle, arrives to stops the fight and apologizes for his student's behavior. Impressed by Chen's skill, Funakoshi speaks with him, and during their talk, Chen learns that his master, Koyuenjia, has died after losing a match to a Japanese karate guy named Akutagawa. Shocked and saddened, Chen decides to leave Kyoto and return to Shanghai. Matsuko follows him, saying she'll wait for him. Chen promises to return after the Japanese military leaves Shanghai. He then says his goodbye and boards a ship. When he arrives in Shanghai, he tells a car driver that he is going to Jingwu School. The driver tells him that the school has lost its reputation since Hua's death, and that the Japanese plan to take it over. When Chen arrives at Jingwu School, he learns that Master Hua's son Tinjing is now the head of the school, and a Japanese master is there challenging Tinjing to a fight. Quickly defeats him, humiliating the master and his thugs as they leave in shame. Tinjing his uncle No and the rest of the family welcome Chen, who explains that he learned of Huo's death from a Japanese newspaper. He then pays his respects at Huo's grave and vows to take revenge, even though it's against the law. The next day, Chen visits the Japanese dojo, where Akutagawa students have just finished training. Chen asks to see their master, but the students react with hostility, because he is Chinese, and attack him. Chen quickly defeats them using the techniques he learned from his late master, Akutagawa. Then shows up and Chen challenges him to a fight, which Akutagawa accepts honorably. During the match, Chen defeats him easily and realizes Akutagawa wasn't strong enough to have beaten Master Hua, and this makes Chen suspect foul play in his master's death. Meanwhile, Japanese soldiers gather outside the dojo to welcome General Fujita and the Japanese ambassador, both newly assigned to Shanghai that night. Chen has Master Hua's body exhumed for an autopsy, despite objections from Tingyun No and the other Jingwu members. The autopsy reveals that Hua was poisoned and weakened before his match with Akutagawa the next morning at breakfast. Tingyun No and the others begin to suspect the poisoner might be someone within the school. Since Hua never ate or went out, no points to the cook who prepared all the meals. Overhearing this, the cook becomes angry and lashes out. Chen arrives, calms everyone down and helps settle the tension so they can finish breakfast peacefully. Over the next few days, news of Chen's victory over Akutagawa spreads across Shanghai and Chen becomes a local hero. The Jingwu students begin to see him as their new instructor, stirring jealousy in Tingyin. Even Uncle No's uneasy about Chen's rising influence. Despite the tension, Chen continues training the students, earning their respect and admiration, feeling overshadowed and frustrated. Tingyin keeps quiet, but begins spending time at a brothel where he gets involved with a prostitute. Meanwhile, during a meeting, Akutagawa confronts General Fujita of the Imperial Japanese Army. He accuses Fujita of rigging his match with Master Hua and expresses his anger, calling it a dishonorable act. After a heated argument, General Fujita kills Akutagawa by breaking his back in front of the Japanese ambassador that night. Chen tells Uncle No about the poison found in Master Hua's body, but No shows little interest. Instead, he expresses concern that the Jingwu students are starting to view Chen as their master, instead of Tinjing. He reminds Chen that Tingyun is the school's rightful leader. The next morning, Chen goes out for a jog and is joined by several card men along the way. Meanwhile, Akutagawa's death is falsely blamed on Chen, and enraged by their master's death, Akutagawa students attack Jingwu School, sparking a violent fight. A maid runs to the police station to alert the authorities, and the police eventually arrive to break up the brawl. When Chen returns from his morning jog, he is suddenly arrested and put on trial for Akutagawa murder. Unaware of what's happening in court the next day, several bribed witnesses give false and conflicting statements against him. The court refuses to accept any defense from Chinese witnesses, calling them biased. However, Matsuko appears and testifies that Chen is innocent, saying he spent the night with her. Since she is Japanese, the court accepts her statement and clears Chen of all charges. Although exonerated, Chen's relationship with Matsuko damages his standing in the Chinese community, who view it as a betrayal. As a result, Ting Yin, Uncle No and the senior Jingwu members confront Chen and force him to choose between staying with Matsuko or remaining at the school. Ting Yin uses the moment to settle his grudge and challenges Chen to a fight, saying, "The winner will become the new master." At first, Chen holds back, dodging and letting Ting Jin land hits, but when he sees the worry on Matsuko's face, he decides to fight seriously. Chen quickly overwhelms Ting Jin, delivering a harsh beating that stuns everyone. Despite winning, Chen chooses to leave Jingwu and walks away with Mitsuko humiliated. Ting Jin steps down as master and leaves to be with his lover. Meanwhile, when Chen and Mitsuko try to rent a hotel room, they face hostility. Matsuko for being Japanese and Chen for being seen as a traitor with nowhere else to stay. Chen and Matsuko take shelter in an abandoned hut near Master Hu's grave. Meanwhile, two of Akutagawa's students arrive at Jingwu School with a message from General Fujita. He wants to fight the school's master. In a flashback, it's revealed that the cook had been bribed by the Japanese to poison Master Hua, and one of the Kotagawa students, Jam, was also part of the plot. While the cook shows regret for his actions, Jam strangles him with a rope and hangs him to keep him silent. The police arrive and take the cook's body away, and during their investigation, they find a container of throw-aside in the kitchen. This discovery confirms to the police captain and Uncle No that the cook was the one who poisoned Master Hua. When Ting Yin's lover learns that his family is searching for him, she goes to Jingwu School and informs Uncle No of his location. She leads them to a spot where they find Ting Jin caught in a street fight, and the Jingwu members step in and help him. Afterward, they discover Ting Yin's relationship with the woman, and initially scold him. But Uncle No ultimately accepts their relationship. Ting Yin reflects on his mistakes, learns from the experience, and chooses to return to Jingwu. His lover is welcomed into the family, and Uncle No informs him about General Fujita's challenge to fight the school's master. At the same time, Funakoshi arrives from Japan, sent by General Fujita to eliminate Chen. He finds the abandoned hut where Chen and Mitsuko are staying, and ready for what's coming, Chen prepares for the fight. Funakoshi and Chen engage in a fierce, disciplined fight, matching each other with skill and precision. Despite Chen's strength and resolve, he is ultimately defeated. However, Funakoshi spares his life. He tells Chen that to become truly unbeatable, he must learn to adapt to his opponent's movements before leaving. Funakoshi warns him about General Fujita's brutal nature and ruthless tactics. Then returns to Japan. Meanwhile, Fujita is seen training for the upcoming fight, taking heavy blows from his men without flinching, showing his inhuman endurance and strength. A few days later, Ting Jin visits Chen at the hut and sincerely apologizes for his past actions. He tells Chen that the Jingwu school now accepts his relationship with Matsuko to help him prepare for the coming battle. However, he warns that Japan may use Fujita's death as an excuse to start a war with China, unless someone is held accountable to prevent this. Chen offers to take full responsibility, willing to sacrifice himself for peace. Moved by Chen's courage, the ambassador comes up with a plan. Instead of executing Chen, they stage a fake execution using the body of the Jam. War is avoided and the Jingwu school is saved, and it later grows and spreads across China. Meanwhile, the card man from earlier tells stories of Chen's bravery, turning him into a legend. Chen quietly leaves Shanghai and travels to Manchuria, hoping to reunite with Matsuko, and the movie ends. That's all the recap about The Fist of Legend from 1994. Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe.